NBC News Chief Justice and National Affairs Correspondent Kelly O'Donnell joins me now with more. Also back with us is NBC News legal analyst Carol Lamb. Kelly O'Donnell, let me start with you. Talk about the significance of this and what more do we know?
Well, of course, this is set against the backdrop of the president having identified Letitia James, the Democratic statewide attorney general for New York, as one of his perceived political enemies. She, of course, in her political career, brought charges against the president and also talked openly in her campaign about wanting to challenge President Trump from a legal point of view. The president's allies have considered that weaponization of the system, and today there is another way of looking at that, as certainly those who are concerned about how this president is involved with the Department of Justice could ask questions about this. It stems from the Federal Housing Authority's work looking at mortgage records, and her records were identified as being potential evidence in this case. We don't yet know if this was the specific evidence brought forward before a grand jury, but just like in the Comey case, we're talking about the Eastern District of Virginia. We're talking about Lindsay Halligan, who is the acting U.S. attorney for that office, and most recently had been a top White House aide as the deputy staff secretary, a job that brings all the paperwork to the desk of the president from a legal perspective. And she had privately been a lawyer for President Trump in his defense for different events in the past. She is now in this official role, and it's our understanding that she brought the evidence and that one count of bank fraud has been returned by a grand jury. Just like in the Comey case, the former FBI director, this is the first point of what would be a potential prosecution as this goes forward. Will there be challenges to this for what we saw in the Comey case, which is a claim of vindictive prosecution? Are there other circumstances here? And is the question again raised about whether those in the office believed this case had merit? Certainly, we've heard Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, when she was testifying before the Senate, she said in referring to Comey that the grand jury involved, again, Eastern District of Virginia, she described it as one of the most liberal in the United States. That was her characterization. So that's how they defend the process, that evidence is put before a grand jury. We know there is not an opportunity for defense to counter that evidence, but those grand jurors returned one count. So early stages, we've reached out to the Attorney General of New York's office and her counsel, and we await hearing a response from them. But this is a significant event in the context of the president has identified people he wants the Department of Justice to go after, and now we are seeing in a separate mechanism that is happening. Is it connected? Certainly Pam Bondi would not discuss any conversation she had had related to the president putting pressure on her publicly. And we know that after they fired Eric Siebert, who had been the acting attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, then Lindsay Halligan was placed in that role. Her appointment itself is controversial because of the mechanism in which it was done. So you have an attorney general in a state who has brought charges against President Trump in the past, and now we have the Department of Justice under President Trump bringing a single charge against Letitia James. Kristen?
Kelly O'Donnell, thank you for that really in-depth look at this breaking news that we are tracking.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.